There's so many craftables. We're definitely.
Oh my god, I thought that was a monster.
I've got the Tarkov feeling with just like I have no idea.
There's snow. I'm outside.
Oh, what the f?
Oh my god.
We got sense.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Let's go. Do we go outside? I think we just go outside.
Yeah. Let's get away from this.
Bro, no!
Attention,
Right,
critical
they
overload.
shot.
Backup power failure.
You got the, yeah. Mm.
No, he's behind.
Bro! Hey, what's up guys? This video is going to be a little bit different than my usual. It's actually going to be a bit of a preliminary review of my experience playing in a private early access playtest of a totally new and unique twist on the extraction shooter genre called Level 0. Level 0 is an asymmetric survival horror PvPvE extraction shooter. You can play as a mercenary going on raids, called expeditions, where you'll do the familiar exploration through a super immersive and dynamic environment, looting any of the weapons, gear, and crafting materials you come across, while trying to survive and extract, surrounded by other player mercenaries, environmental hazards, and what makes the game really stand out amongst a handful of otherwise banal options in the looter-shooter genre, horrifying player-controlled alien creatures. These monsters have the ability to traverse the environment in a totally unique way, have a number of special abilities to help them find and hunt any human life nearby, and are resistant to normal guns and melee weapons. Their primary weakness? Light. The use of and control over light is the key to success for both the mercs and the aliens, and lends itself to some super fun, hilarious, and horrifying gameplay.
There he is. He's over here. Keep your guns ready. There's a mine right here.
No, not our guns. Guns don't do shit.
You don't think bullets hurt this guy?
Behind you! Behind you! I killed him!
We got him.
Oh my
I need to get my other
god.
flashlight.
Behind you,
Okay, there's
dude,
one more.
he says. Oh. Oh, another one behind us! These sons of
Okay,
bitches, dude, they're completely quiet. Now, in full disclosure, this is a sponsored video. But as you all know if you've been following my content over the years, I very rarely do content like this and almost never run sponsored segments in my videos. And that's because I care more about objectivity and creative freedom than I do about money. I don't want to be reading some brand script and parroting their talking points. I would never agree to review a game like this without complete freedom to share my honest and unbiased thoughts and feedback, good or bad. The only thing I agreed to, which is something that I would have done anyway, is to tell you that you can wishlist Level 0 on Steam now. I'll put a link in the description. And other than that, I can say whatever I want, and I'm going to be doing just that. Now, in my personal opinion, whenever I hear about a game like this, I tend to want to skip past the story and lore and hear about the gameplay. What is the core gameplay loop? What are your goals as a player? What's the progression like? That kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on here. Now, the games we were playing had something like 8 or 9 players in groups of 2 and 3, along with 2 aliens. We started off with the most basic gear, basically a hatchet for use against any players that we came across, some medical stims that heal you when you take damage, and 2 kinds of light-producing utility items that we could use against the aliens, glow sticks and flares, each with varying degrees of brightness, which affects how much damage is done, as well as different durations. Throughout each expedition, on the level that we playtested, which was basically an abandoned lab that has clearly seen some shit, there were various announcements over the PA system, notifying players of various important things that were happening, like power surges that would regularly occur that would take out the electrical systems for a period of time, which of course means no lights, as well as other events like when players call elevators to extract, which, if you know the map, gives you an opportunity to try and make your way to them before they leave. Now, of course, we didn't know the maps. We really didn't know much of anything. We were kind of just thrown into the deep end, almost entirely blind, and had to figure it out on the fly.
It's in our best interest for us all to work together.
Yeah.
I got my capsule.
No, dude, no. As we explored the map on our first expedition, it became quickly clear just how complex and dynamic the environments in this game are, forcing you to juggle a number of different things all at once. Not only do you have to handle all of the normal looter-shooter considerations like inventory space, carry weight, and your supply of meds and ammo, but you also have to ensure that you have a reliable supply of light in one form or another, whether it's flares and glow sticks, handheld or weapon-mounted flashlights, or by making use of the various light sources provided by the environment, which inconveniently are not in infinite supply, thanks to things like facility power surges and special abilities of the aliens, like the ability to expel an EMP or electromagnetic pulse, which disables pretty much all of the electronics within range. Not only does having light provide both offensive and defensive utility, but it also is probably the most important aspect that contributes to the horror element of the game. In Level 0, light is a resource, very much like energy and hydration in a game like Tarkov, except in my opinion, better in every single sense. In level 0, these mechanics feel so much more interesting and engaging. Managing light as a resource is in and of itself a fully fleshed out system very nicely woven into the gameplay and the balance of combat, as well as the overall vibe of the gameplay, making you never really feel safe or fully in control. Running out of light mid-raid, sitting in the dark, hearing the spine-tingling sound of that alien approaching from somewhere, hits a whole lot different than realizing mid-raid you forgot to bring some water into Shanka and are going to die from exhaustion.
Now.
Feels like I'm on labs when I'm hitting these elevators.
He got me. I think he just died though. He killed himself.
No, I got him.
Oh, good shit.
Where you guys at?
Overall, I thought there was a really interesting balance between most of the light-producing items, with glow sticks lasting a little bit longer than flares, but not quite burning as bright, both of which not being as good as the handheld flashlight, which was pretty much the most OP item in the game when I played, because of how fast it killed the aliens. Unfortunately, the battery only lasts for a short amount of time before you need to wait for it to recharge, and can also be disabled by the alien's EMP, so you can't solely rely on it or other electronics for light, which gives more utility to the flares and glow sticks. Now, there were a bunch of other items in the game that I didn't really get a chance to use. There's light traps that you can set up that trigger when aliens get close, ultraviolet lights that are invisible to the aliens, items that can weld doors shut, detect the motion of nearby players, and more. As you can see in some of these clips, when a teammate dies, they can control a drone that can interact with the environment, scout for their teammates that are still alive, and even provide temporary light. Now, unfortunately, in every raid, I either died last or I was able to extract, so I didn't get a chance to try it out, but from the sound of it, it seemed like it was a lot of fun. And I thought it was a really clever way to allow players who died to not be left out of the gameplay when they're playing with their friends.
It's up with you.
Sick,
I'm
dude.
dead.
The dream mode's sick.
The other
What?
guy's healing. Your enemy is healing around the corner right now. He's trying to beat my drone to death. He's coming. He's coming. With
Where?
He's turn around.
You see where I am? He's down the hallway.
He's down the hall. At the end on the right.
He's behind you. He's behind you. He's trying to res.
Get him.
Get him.
Get ragged.
Run.
Dude, this drone is sick.
I do like
Oh my god! He got wrecked! Run, very fast.
Now, some of the mechanics did feel a little bit clunky in the game. I'm not entirely sure how or why, but all of us kept repeatedly dropping items without really understanding what the cause was. And that's not exactly optimal when you're being hunted by a giant alien. But I'm sure some amount of that was just us being unfamiliar with a lot of the controls, and the devs did make it clear that they were aware of some of the other issues, and they'd likely be resolved in time. Now, if I'm honest, my least favorite aspect of the game was the myriad of hazards that they scattered throughout the environment. There were hanging wires shooting sparks, busted pipes spewing boiling hot steam, and landmines placed what felt like every 15 feet.
Thank you.
welcome, boys.
Mine. You're right on a mine over.
Oh! I thought you were saying like you saw some good loot and you were like calling it.
I'm gonna.
Now, I like all of these things in principle, and I think they add a ton to the atmosphere as well as to the attention that players need to have as they navigate. But in my honest opinion, there were just way too many of each all over the place that at times it felt more like a puzzle platformer than a looter shooter. If we're expected to be engaging in intense PvP and running from aliens, we need to be able to be fairly comfortable moving at a rapid pace through the environment. So I'm hoping that they tone these things down a bit in the future.
World assist. Ah!
Yeah, watch out for the steam.
Dude, the steam hurts really bad. Be careful about that.
Oh god. I'm out of.
Oh, was that a landmine?
Oh, what the hell just hit me?
Now, a few of the combat mechanics also felt a little clunky as well. The melee combat felt kind of anemic. None of the weapons I tried really felt like they had any weight or really did much damage, so it didn't exactly feel satisfying. But of course, I also have no idea how much of the combat in the game is going to be with melee weapons versus with firearms, so who knows how much that really matters. I guess it'll depend on the supply and availability of guns. I did get to play with the shotgun a bunch, and there's a whole weapon modifying system, allowing you to attach all of the sorts of things that you would expect. Suppressors, red dots, foregrips, that kind of thing. I was also able to try out the semi-auto dart gun pistol, which was challenging to use, to say the least. And I did die once to the fully auto SMG-like nail gun, but never actually got a chance to use one myself.
Maybe we check for a corpse on that first fight.
Someone's right here.
Oh
Now, one of the most interesting systems in the game was their perk system. Their perks are basically like some kind of neurochip implant that gives you a bonus or ability. Because they aren't limited to some arbitrary idea of what's realistic and what isn't, they had the freedom to get creative and provide some actual meaningful choices that make a noticeable impact on the gameplay, with some even providing super powerful benefits while being balanced by having noteworthy downsides. For example, part of the reason why I think I was surviving a little bit more than my teammates was because I had taken the Tough Skin perk, which gives you a ton of resistance to all forms of damage at the cost of being able to run. Now, I had taken this perk without really knowing it, so I was confused for a while about why I wasn't able to run, thinking that maybe I was overweight or something, but I just didn't read what the perk did. Another example of an interesting perk was, I believe, called Hybrid, and it allowed your human mercenary to consume alien eggs around the environment to heal some of your missing HP. They're still fleshing out the whole perk system, weighing some of the different options they've been thinking about, so we don't know exactly how it's going to be when it's done, but they did emphasize that the perks weren't going to be permanent. You weren't going to be using the same meta ones all the time. We don't know exactly if you're going to lose them when you die or if there's going to be some kind of durability or something, but overall that kind of gives it a bit of a roguelike feel in some regards. And I think that kind of thing is a really cool addition to the genre, and it's going to give it a bunch of replayability. Now, on to playing as an alien. I only got a chance to play as an alien once, and unfortunately I spent a decent amount of time trying to navigate through the map rather than really hunting down any mercs, but that was largely due to scheduling and my being unable to attend more than one play session. Nevertheless, that's all to say that I'm sure that I missed multiple mechanics or features, so don't take what I say as a full explanation of everything involved. First of all, not only do you basically have perma-night vision, but you can also see your fellow aliens at all times, which definitely promotes playing together and trying to ambush as a team rather than hunting solo, which of course is also possible. As an alien, you're not affected by the environmental hazards I mentioned earlier, so you can run around without needing to worry about mines or wires or anything like that. A key feature of playing as an alien is your ability to move quickly and quietly through your environment. One of your abilities highlights nearby ventilation shafts, allowing you to ambush, hide, flank, and try to confuse any mercs that you come across, even larger groups. This ability also highlights eggs, which you're able to consume to fill the meter down on the lower right, which gives you other abilities that you can use. Some of these abilities require energy, others don't and have cooldowns, but here's a rundown of some of the other ones. You can spit slime at the humans, which blinds and stuns them temporarily, as well as extinguishes any flares they have, which is horrifying. You can scan to sense nearby players, which I believe may or may not be tied to the player's heart rate, something I forgot to mention earlier, so that's another thing to keep in mind. As I mentioned before, they have an EMP, which disables all of the lights in an area. You can scream, which temporarily stuns the humans and causes them to drop whatever items they're holding. You have an ability that heals yourself. You can go almost completely invisible, and my least favorite alien ability to face as a human was the egg trap, which speaks for itself.
Oh, I see.
Help me!
Now, after dying, we had something like a 30-second cooldown before respawning back in, which I think is a good amount of time that allows players you encounter to move from their last known location while letting you get back in, make your way into that general area, and maybe regroup with your alien buddy to give it another try.
Is it?
There's no way, right? Elevator. Yo, Virtus, quick.
What the fuck is shooting at? No, dog, no, dog, no. No. Oh my god. Overall, I felt like there was a really interesting balance between aliens and mercenaries. The aliens' ability to move super fast throughout these complex environments, making little noise, the ability to set traps to disable or stun rather than do tons of damage, as well as having multiple ways of locating the mercs, is balanced by the fact that it really doesn't take much light to kill them, so they're kind of like glass cannons, and they have to be really careful about when and how they choose to attack players. My understanding is that there's going to be an entirely separate progression system for your alien, probably having the chance to choose which abilities you want to use, what skills to focus on, and I can imagine a skilled pair of coordinated alien players would be insanely horrifying to play against. The last thing worth mentioning was the performance. I can only speak for myself, but for me it was totally fine for a game this early in the development cycle. A game that looks this good, getting around 50 to 70 FPS on ultra settings, when the game doesn't have a whole lot of optimization so far, and my PC is a 6-year-old PC, that's definitely respectable. I didn't really experience any stutters or lag, so kudos to the dev team for what they've been able to build thus far. Now, overall, I have to say that I'm genuinely impressed with what they've managed to put together thus far. For the first time I can remember, we have an extraction shooter that has some truly unique and fun mechanics. I'm excited to see where they take the game and can't wait to get my hands on it again in the future. If you think that you'd enjoy this kind of game, I'd highly recommend adding it to your wishlist on Steam, link in the description. And finally, thanks to Dog Howl and Tiny Build for the opportunity to play and test your game, and for listening to all the feedback. I hope everybody enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, they have their
No,
weapon
you
out.
walked right in front of me.
Oh, my bad. It's fine. You can still res me. They have their knives out. You kill them. Oh shit.
Thank you.
Res me.
Bro, no! Oh my god, bro, no!
I burned him alive.
Yo, whoever just killed us, I just want to say we got beat. All right, we got beat. Okay, this isn't Escape from Tarkov. I know who you are. Okay, this isn't